Yes, it is true that Pokemon cards are currently dropping in price, though one question that seems to be popping up is, when is the right time to buy? Now, if you're unaware, during this time of year, Pokemon prices always do tend to drop and they start correcting. Right now, what's happening is nothing new. It is nothing unusual. And a lot of people call this the summer slump or the summer lull. So if it's your first year collecting, honestly, don't think of this like as some green ticket that all cards are just going to drop insanely in price over the next few months. This is very common for this time of year. Most of the cards are just way too overinflated. All right, let's get into it because there is a big summer slump right now happening in the market. Yes, it is true Pokemon cards are dropping, but also I wouldn't be feeding into the whole narrative that now they're crashing, now the whole Pokemon boom is over and all that. Now I just want to say, dude, I've been going through some stuff. You can probably hear in my voice, but I've actually injured my back, man. And I injured it so badly. I literally, right now you can see I've got a standing desk right here. I have this thing, I strained it and I've never really dealt with back pain. And I literally, it is hard for me to get out of bed. I don't know how this, I've always heard people have back pain and I was always like, oh, yeah, I've heard that it's bad, but no, dude, like if you've seen it or if you've had it, I feel for you, man. I'm going through it right now. It is crazy, man. Like I did not expect back pain to be that strong, that intense. Like, wow, man. And another thing about it, which is also like, it's kind of on my mind now as well. You can hear my voice. I've been coughing a little bit and every time I have to cough, my lower back, it's like ripping and I'm like, oh, dude, I'm so over it. But nonetheless, I wanted to make this video because I was literally just gonna sit in bed and I'm like, nah, it's good to be active. It's good to be doing something. So I definitely want to be making this video. It just makes me feel a bit better. Though right now, I'm looking at the Charizard 151. Okay, this one's dropped a fair bit, man. So was selling for 492 US. Right now, check that out. All in the 1 month, selling for $397, $100 off. If you were considering about adding this Charizard to your collection, right now you've got an opportunity. Right now, there is opportunities for a lot of cards. The last time this card was at 400 US, let's check that out. As we can see here, the last time it was around that price was around March this year. So you have a bit of a window of opportunity. Will it continue to go down in price? There is a chance, okay? A lot of cards are really overinflated right now. A lot of us know that. The 30th celebration has also put in a lot of anger with people. I think a lot of people, there's pockets of people just saying, you know what, it's been consistent months of not being able to get products I want, such as Ascended Heroes, such as Phantasmal Flames, such as 30th Celebration, and people are they're just kicking the, what's it called? You kick the can, they're just over it. They don't want it, right? This is a pretty unique opportunity if you did want this card. Now, looking at the Blastoise 151 SIR, top of the market was $221 in March. Right now, very nice price at $153 for what it was selling for before. As you can see, that's a decent price drop, man, 70 USD. If you did want to add this to your collection, you again have an opportunity. Right now, it's all about finding opportunities in the market. That is this summer slump or the summer lull or whatever you want to call it. Right now, and I'm telling you, if you do want to add cards to your master set, this is right now your window. And it may continue to drop, it is sure, but what we know, and with 30th celebration on the way, I highly doubt there's going to be some crazy drop that goes, this Blastoise, I don't think we're going to see it be under $100 ever again. Maybe right now we're still in the middle of summer or it's just starting. There is room for it to continue to drop. Like I always tell all my audience, playing that game is very difficult. Also, if you do like updates like this one, definitely subscribe to stay in the loop for consistent Pokemon content. My name's Phil and I've been making content around Pokemon cards for a few years now. Honestly, I love seeing all the new people on the channel. Now, interestingly, also some Japanese cards are dropping and Japanese cards have also been really climbing in price, so it is good to see. Right here, I've got the Mega Charizard X from Inferno X, the special art rare. This is the PSA 10 version. Top of the market was selling for 1,500 US. Right now, you can see selling for $1,145. Again, that is at a 3-month low. In fact, I think that's at an all-time low. I've pulled that in the 6 months. Oh, pretty close to it, 1.1K. There you go, the low was 780. So not actually at an all-time low, but we are approaching those drops. Same thing here with the Inferno X booster box was selling for 160 US. Right now selling for $118. this booster box does contain the Mega Charizard X, the special art rare. Great little pickup right now. As you can see, there is the market dropping in both English and Japanese. By the way, while we're on the topic of Japanese Pokemon cards, I do want to talk about today's sponsor, Bai. Now, if you've ever tried to buy Japanese items or Japanese Pokemon cards online, it's likely you've seen that some sellers don't offer international shipping. Well, thankfully, that's actually where Bai comes in to bridge the gap between you and the Japanese marketplace. Bai is a Japanese proxy shopping service. So essentially, you can go to Bai and search where you're looking for, such as Pokemon cards or Pokemon booster boxes. Once you make a purchase, the items get all sent to Bai's warehouse in Japan, and then they will pack and consolidate your order and send it out. And what's so awesome is that Bai offers shipping to multiple countries and regions, including North America, Oceania, and Europe. Having a tool like Bai at your disposal is very useful, especially with how popular Japanese Pokemon cards are at the moment. Now, it's really awesome if you've never tried Bai before and you're a first-time user, you can get a 10% discount off your first order. All the details to Bai are in the video's description. A big thanks to Bai for supporting the channel. Let's get back to the video. One that's actually pretty crazy is the 151 Elite Trainer box, because right now it is in May it was selling for 675 US. Right now selling for 622. Why this one is so interesting to me is because it's not going up in price. In fact, it's actually dropped a little. Sealed does not tend to do that. And the fact that it's 151, all this hype around it, all this momentum, everyone's just insanely in love with 151 at the moment, but we can see there is a pause. In fact, the price right now is 622. If you look at March, it was selling for 593. Pretty much if you bought Pokemon 151 in March or now, it is roughly at the same price. There hasn't been crazy spikes for it. That is a good sign for a lot of people. But then again, the people that are investing in collectibles and wanting to see endless growth, there has to be a brake pedal. I also think 600 US for Pokemon 151. I don't know. My mind still thinks of that as so ridiculous because I was just opening 151 like as much as I wanted to. I never even thought anything about it. So yeah, it is pretty crazy seeing that. Though interestingly, we have a lot of PSA 10 cards are dropping. The Greninja from Twilight Masquerade had a high for around 990 US. Right now here selling for 857. Definitely a nice price drop, pretty much 150 bucks off the high point. This is weird, and this is why if people try to predict the hobby, nothing makes sense. The reason why this is crazy is PSA has paused their value tier options. Whether or not this qualifies for value tier, I'm not sure at 900 US, maybe it does. But regardless, PSA has an insane backlog. They've shut off grading for so many of their cards, but a lot of PSA 10 cards right now are dropping, which is, how is that working? Like you cannot send more cards in, but the market is dropping. That's what I mean, man. The hobby just does crazy things. I am predicting a big correction after the 30th celebration. Though I'm also kind of like on the mindset that I thought PSA 10 cards right now would all be climbing in price because what's happening. But no, it is the opposite. I've just learned from years of making content, whatever you think is gonna happen, usually the opposite happens. PSA 10 cards right now, it makes no sense to me why they drop. The Mega Greninja from Chaos Rising, the special illustration rare, also dropped heavy, man, like heavy. Was selling for 575. Right now selling for 243 USD. That is, I did not expect that. And I don't think anyone expected it to go to that price. But when we look at what the other special illustration rares, whether it be the Mega Charizard X, whether we look at the Ascended Hero special illustration rares, to see a price point like that is crazy, right? Because no one expected that. In fact, this Greninja, everyone was like, oh yeah, it's going to compete with the Charizard. I also thought this would be like close to that price point. I have totally been shocked by that, but I am also very happy for all the collectors right now. This is a good signal. The market was way too inflated. All these people act like they don't care about Pokemon prices. There is a shift right now, okay? I've noticed when I was reporting on alternate arts dropping in 2024, I would say 95% of people were thrilled with that news. There was 5% of people that were like, oh, my cards are dropping in price. These days, it's a bit different though. Like with a lot of collectors now, so many people have just over leveraged themselves that a lot of people, trust me, man, there's a lot of people not celebrating these drops as well, which is kind of weird to me because why wouldn't you want to be able to open some more product? When I made this channel, I could open every booster box. I could open multiple. That was within my budget. Now, even opening one booster box, it's like, wow, it's a sticker shock, man. Like it's so expensive. So I think we need to see more of this right now because yeah, right here, the Mega Lucario, when it released last year, pretty much an all-time high. 700 US, and you can see dropped pretty steadily to 281. These cards are incredibly rare. Yes, I've seen these cards in person. They look phenomenal. I pulled one of these myself on a stream. I thought it looked insane. But also, I do, like, you'll hear me say, I think the monochromatic gold, boring, bro. Boo. Like, straight up, boo. Like, you can do something more creative. At least the Generation 5 sets did that monochromatic stuff that looked way cooler, in my opinion. This, yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to just like it for the sake that it's rare. And again, like I said, PSA 10 cards, Mega Charizard X. Check this out. Pretty much approaching, may actually reach an all-time low. Was selling for around at a high of 2,750 US. Incredible card as a PSA 10, one of the best Charizard artworks to date, but right now we can see selling for 1,900, pretty much a $2,000 card. I only talked about this card like last week and it's already dropped $100 more in the week. If we look here, the all-time low was around $1,830. I think it could actually go lower than that. So there you go, maybe an opportunity if you did want to add that. But you know, I always talk about when you're playing in that rarefied air of $2,000 slabs, $3,000 slabs, price drops are brutal and they happen way bigger. Just like PSA 10s are high risk, high reward. PSA 10s can compound and go to insane prices, but when they drop, they can drop heavy. The vintage crash that happened in 2024, some slabs lost $20,000 off their price. So trust me, like this area or competing and buying in this area, it is way more risky than buying a card worth $50 because if a $50 card even dropped to $10, okay, let's say if that happened, you've lost $40. When it drops from 2,800 US to 2,000, you've lost 800 USD. It's a lot of money. I think if you have invested in collectibles and you're looking at the market, you do need to take a long pragmatic view that this is the summer period. A lot of people are just wondering what's going to be happening. And again, prices have been overinflated. If you've watched my channel, you would have heard me for a long time telling everyone, hey, be careful buying cards at this price because they're just insane. It's really interesting as I do have a few predictions of what's going to happen in the next 12 months, and you can see them all in this video on screen here. On this video on screen, I go into the next 12 months of Pokemon collecting, and I speak about what I think is going to be happening with the 30th set and all my predictions for the future of Pokemon cards. I'll see you on that video, and I appreciate you watching.